We don't get to choose who our parents are, nor do we get to choose the community, place, or time we're born into. It's always a gamble, one we have absolutely no control over. Toji Fushiguro is a perfect example of this. Born into the Zenin clan, a family renowned since its inception for possessing a powerful and rare gift, the ability to use cursed techniques, Toji should have been destined for greatness. But fate had other plans. Toji was born with a heavenly restriction, a condition that completely nullified his ability to use cursed energy. This left him as nothing more than a normal human in a world where power defined worth. He couldn't see cursed spirits, couldn't use cursed techniques, and couldn't exercise curses like the rest of his family. While the Zenin clan could summon spirits and wield otherworldly abilities, Toji was powerless. Because of this, he was looked down upon, rejected, and treated as lesser. It's like being born into a family of elite athletes or brilliant doctors, where everyone sharing your blood has immense talent, physical ability, or academic brilliance. Everyone, except you. You're the odd one out. One without the gifts. That makes you low-hanging fruit. An outcast. A mistake. The black sheep of the family. While everyone else is praised and celebrated, you're left alone, without anyone who can truly understand the weight of your sadness or the struggle of being born into a family with impossible standards and overwhelming power. But despite lacking raw talent or supernatural gifts, Toji didn't let that define him. If anything, it fueled him. His ambition was born from rejection, a desperate hunger for recognition from a family that wouldn't have spit on him even if he were on fire. Today, we're going to take a look at the life and death of Toji Fushiguro. From birth, Toji was neglected, abused, and beaten. His own family would go as far as throwing him into pits filled with cursed spirits. And somehow, day after day, Toji survived. Even at a young age, it was clear that his will to live outlasted the cruelty and torment inflicted on him by his own blood. But survival demands adaptation. Unable to rely on cursed energy, Toji sharpened his five senses to an extreme degree, learning to perceive cursed spirits through pure instinct and awareness. Instead of depending on natural talent or gifts granted at birth, he honed his body and skills to fight the same monsters as sorcerers blessed with cursed techniques. And through relentless effort, he arguably surpassed them. Because Toji wasn't carried by talent, he was forged by survival. His strength eventually became undeniable. Members of the Zenin clan, along with outsiders, began to fear him, labeling him a demon. Not long after, Toji left the Zenin clan on his own terms, searching for meaning and a life free from constant judgment. He became a hired killer, taking dangerous jobs for money. With that money, he purchased special-grade cursed tools, each one making him even more lethal. Somewhere along the way, Toji found love. He had a wife and a child. For the first time, it seemed like love and purpose might allow him to escape a life defined by violence. His wife was his anchor, the one person who could calm him and help him confront the trauma of his past. But she died under unknown circumstances. With her gone, the only source of stability in his life vanished. Toji was broken once again. He returned to his old ways, killing for money and accepting nearly suicidal contracts that even high-grade sorcerers wouldn't dare take. In the moment that defined his detachment, he sold his own son to the very clan that had abused him. Unlike Toji, they saw value in the child, because he was born with cursed techniques. He would be treated as family in ways Toji never was. One day, Toji was assigned a contract to kill the Star Plasma vessel, a girl named Riko Amane, and without hesitation, Toji accepted. Riko was being escorted by Satoru Gojo and Suguru Geto, two powerful sorcerers tasked with ensuring she reached her destination safely. However, the Zenin clan placed a bounty on her head. The plan was simple: send waves of assassins and mercenaries after Riko to wear down her protectors. By the time the final confrontation came, Gojo and Geto would be exhausted from defending her, creating the perfect opening for Toji to strike. On the final day of Riko's transport, Toji made his move. He launched a sudden attack on Gojo, catching him completely off guard and immediately seizing the upper hand. Toji dominated the encounter. Gojo was a prodigy, the complete opposite of Toji. Born with nearly limitless power an overwhelming natural talent. But what Gojo didn't realize was the nature of the threat he faced. Sorcerers sense one another through cursed energy. Toji had none. Without cursed energy, Toji was effectively invisible, undetectable to Gojo's instincts. This gave him a decisive advantage, allowing him to move freely, strike precisely, and control the battle in ways Gojo never anticipated. And for the first time, the strongest sorcerer found himself truly vulnerable. After what seemed like Gojo's death, Toji followed Geto and Riko underground. Without hesitation, he swiftly ended Riko's life, right in front of Geto. Shocked and enraged, Geto demanded to know how Toji was there and why. Geto attempted to fight back, unleashing his cursed techniques against Toji, but it was useless. Toji was simply too strong. Every attack failed to land any real damage. Geto was ultimately struck with a fatal blow, spared only because Toji chose not to kill him. Killing Geto would have risked releasing all the cursed spirits stored within his body, and Toji wasn't willing to take that chance. With the job complete, Toji took Riko's body back to collect his payment. As he exited the temple, he was met with a sight he never expected. Gojo was standing there. But this wasn't the same Gojo as before. Something about him was different, almost unhinged. Calm, euphoric, as if he were high on something. That drug was a near-death experience, one that didn't weaken Gojo, but instead awakened him. Not only had Gojo survived, he had evolved. In that moment, Gojo had mastered a new technique, one Toji could not overcome. And with it, Gojo unleashed an attack that ended Toji's life in a single decisive blow. As Toji lay dying, he left Gojo with one final truth. He told him he had a son, one who would be sold to the Zenin clan. And with that knowledge, Toji told Gojo to do whatever he wanted. Fast forward to the present. A mass tragedy known as the Shibuya incident. Members of the Zenin clan tried to resurrect Toji for his powers, transferring his power to a vessel that would temporarily use Toji's strength to cause mass destruction. However, they didn't know who they were dealing with, as Toji completely took over the vessel and killing the same Zenin member who brought him back. Toji roamed the city, mindlessly attacking in what seemed to be a pattern of finding the next strongest sorcerer. Killing them and moving to the next, he found an opening to a domain, and quickly went to work killing the domain caster in brutal fashion. Once he was finished, Toji turned his eyes toward the next strongest opponent. What he didn't know was that it would be his own son. Toji initiated another attack, seemingly intent on hunting his target down. He pushed forward, driving him into an alley, where the two finally came face to face. A battle was inevitable. Toji moved in for the kill, until their eyes met. In that moment, realization struck. Toji asked for his name. The young man answered, Megumi Fushiguro. Hearing his son's name made Toji pause and smile. He understood then that Gojo, the very man who had taken his life, had also saved his son. Megumi had been spared from being sold to the Zenin clan and used as nothing more than another pawn. Knowing this, Toji made his final choice. He ended his own life, content in the knowledge that his son was free, safe and untouched by the same cruelty he had endured. For the first time, Toji Fushiguro died without regret. Toji was a powerhouse, physically and mentally, yet he lived with deep insecurity and doubt about his purpose. Instead of surrendering to it, he pushed beyond every limit placed on him. He achieved greatness without cursed techniques, without inherited talent, driven only by sheer will, raw anger, and something to prove. In the end, his pursuit of validation cost him his life, but his legacy lived on. He left fear in the hearts of sorcerers everywhere, especially within the Zenin clan. Toji proved that greatness isn't something you're born with. It's something you earn. She understood that truth to his core. And because of that, Toji Fushiguro will forever stand as one of the most terrifying and influential figures in Jujutsu history. And with that, this was Becoming Toji Fushiguro from Jujutsu Kaisen.